You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, 26th day of December, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are. We're just glad to have you right here, right now. Trust you all had a very nice Christmas, and I pray you have a very happy and prosperous new year. This is our second live broadcast of the day. We do two every trading day. The first broadcast, that's our live training room. Now that's for members only and those who are taking their 1 week free trial. If you have not taken your 1 week free trial, when Michael comes on in a bit, he'll walk you through step by step how to do it. It's a piece of cake. And just because it's a holiday week this week and next week, don't worry, you'll still get 5 consecutive trading days with unfettered access to the indicators and everything else that we offer our passport holders. In fact, we treat you just like a passport holder for a week, no credit card required, so that you can make a well-informed and intelligent decision as to whether or not what we do is right for you. Now, our afternoon schedule each day, we start with our devotional, a word of prayer, some news, recap of the alerts. Michael joins us to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room. Then we do a little live trading on the TradingView platform for a half an hour or so. And then I wrap it all up with our good word for the day. So with that said, the topic of the devotion that we're in right now, it's about strengthening your faith with the heavenly gifts. Now we're in day 7 of 12 of this particular topic. So if you missed the first few days, that's where we talked about the individual 9 gifts of the Spirit. Today's scripture is Mark 16, verses 17 through 18, and I'm sharing it from the Message translation. These are some of the signs that will accompany believers. They will throw out demons in my name. They will speak in new tongues. They will take snakes in their hands. They will drink poison and not be hurt. They will lay hands on the sick and make them well. Now, you know, there are certain denominations that no longer believe in the gifts of the Spirit. And that's a shame. They're missing out on so much. So, the gift we're going to talk about today is the gift of healing. And as with the other gifts, you got to ask for it. It's a free gift, but you got to ask. Asking for the gift of healing is an act of faith and trust in God, who wants the good of his children. Jesus speaks to his disciples and promises that those who believe in him will have special signs accompanying them. They will lay their hands on the sick and they will heal. This promise invites us to believe that God can heal illnesses and that he can also do so through our prayers. Now again, some denominations do have the belief structure that, well, that was for the disciples, that was for the back then. They don't think that it's still true today. But we're not here to get into any kind of devotional war, so I'll call no names. But if you're part of that, you know, and if you're not, you know. So, this promise invites us to believe that God can and still does heal the sick through our prayers. Asking for this gift means recognizing that God is our healer and that through His Spirit He can still work miracles of healing today. This gift is not to boast or for personal interest, but to serve others and to show God's love to those who are suffering. When we pray for the gift of healing, we must do so with a humble heart, open to the will of God. Healing does not always come immediately or in the way we expect, but every prayer is important in the eyes of God. James encourages us to pray for the sick with faith, having the certainty of divine action. Even though the gift of healing is special, every believer can pray with faith, knowing that God listens. Pray with me. Heavenly Father, thank you for the power and authority you have given us through Jesus Christ. Strengthen our faith to walk boldly, trusting in your promises. Help us to be instruments of your healing, protection, and deliverance, bringing glory to your name. May signs and wonders follow us as we live for you, always proclaiming the good news of your kingdom. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen and happy Thursday. Let me share with you the numbers from around the world. Start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Currently the Dow is up 65 points. NASDAQ is up 19. S&P 500 up 6. And the Russell 2000 up 14. Pretty quiet holiday trade. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 14 cents, trading $69.96 last. Gold up $12.90, trading $26.4820 last. Silver up 4 cents, trading $30.32 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 437 points, well over 1%. Shanghai gained 4. The Hang Seng gained 215 points, and that's well over 1%. In the European markets at the close, FTSE up 34, DAX down 35, the CAC up 10. So, it was a green day for Asia. It was a mixed day for the UK. And so far, it is definitely a green radio Thursday here in the US of A. So let's take a look at some news. All right. Where'd my news feed go? Let's try that again. Looks like my global news feed took the day off. Well, that's okay. we'll just jump right to the market news. And there's not a lot. Okay, if 2024 was the year of artificial intelligence, chatbots becoming more useful, 2025 will be the year AI agents begin to take over. You can think of agents as super-powered AI bots that can take actions on your behalf, such as pulling data from incoming emails and importing them into different apps. You've probably heard rumblings of agents already. Companies ranging from Nvidia, Google, to Microsoft, and Salesforce are increasingly talking up agentic AI, a fancy way of referring to AI agents, claiming that it will change the way both enterprises and consumers think of AI technologies. The goal is to cut down on often bothersome, time-consuming tasks like filing expense reports. Not only will we see more AI agents, we'll see more major tech companies developing them. Companies using them say they're seeing changes based on their own internal metrics. According to the corporate vice president of business and industry Copilot at Microsoft, has already seen improvements in both responsiveness to IT issues and sales outcomes. According to this gentleman, IT self-help success increased by 36%, while revenue per seller has increased by 9.4%. The company has also experienced improved HR case resolution times. If you haven't upgraded to the paid version of ChatGPT, boy, it's really quite a different animal. You can sit and talk and have a conversation about deep subjects, scientific, religious. It's mind-blowing. If for no other reason, it's $20 a month. Get it for a month, play with it, and then cancel it. So it's worth $20 just to see what is now possible. And there's also a $200 version. And I asked the $20 version last night why the other version would be worth an extra $180. And honestly, the answer I got back, while quite detailed, did not motivate me in any way whatsoever to shell out an additional $180 a month. From Bloomberg, gold rose in thin U.S. holiday trading as investors digested mixed domestic jobs report while mulling the outlook for Federal Reserve interest rate moves. Recurring applications for U.S. unemployment benefits rose to the highest in more than 3 years, adding to signs that it's taking longer for out-of-work people to find a job. And when Trump and Elon and Vivek take charge next month, that number's going to go up, because a lot of folks are going to find themselves, and those in the deep state government bureaucracy, they're going to find themselves in the unemployment line. Continuing application, a proxy for the number of people receiving benefits, rose to 1.91 million in the week ended December 14th, according to Labor Department data released today. Initial claims, meanwhile, ticked down to 219,000 in the week ended December 21st. And don't carve those numbers in stone, because I'm sure they'll be revised at some point. And our last little piece of news, the US dollar edged higher today on expectations the currency would be boosted next year by policies of the incoming Donald Trump administration that are expected to boost growth and lift inflation. Trading volumes were light on Thursday, with many traders today, with many traders on holiday after yesterday's Christmas holiday and before next week's New Year holiday. So the bottom line is we'll have some pretty quiet holiday trade this week and next week. Things will start to pick up after the first of the year. So, with that said, let's take a look at something a little closer to home. Logic 247. We ended up last week, I think, with 5% stop down. We only had 3 stop outs last week. This week hasn't been quite as kind. Here it is Thursday, and we've only issued 29 alerts. I think we had that many alerts by Monday of last week. We're in week 334. Over the last 334 weeks, we've issued over 18,700 individual handcrafted alerts. And we've averaged on a weekly basis 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Valerie did the recap this morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern. I haven't issued anything since then. So, for the entire week, going all the way back to Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, when the markets opened for the week, we've issued a total of 29 alerts. 2 never triggered, and we're still waiting on the outcome of 10. Some of those may have resolved themselves since the time of the recap. So that gives us 17 actionable alerts, of which 4 or 24% would have been stopped out. Again, based on market structure and that simple process we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. So we go from 5% last week, I think it was, to 24% today. But depending on what happens with these, it could get better or worse. Plus, I may put some more out today, and I may just put some out tomorrow. There will be no members-only workshop tonight. If you didn't get the memo, you just did. Okay? All right. Now, the logic alerts are designed to help you learn how to read the chart. Every logic alert has an entry price, an initial target designed to help you get your goal for the day, additional targets, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the chart calls for, and then a final trade to target. Yes, you can trade them, but do not miss the opportunity to learn how to read a chart. You should be able to look at any chart of any market in any time frame, and with the help of our humble indicators, know instinctively what the next high probability move is. And after over 18,700 alerts, we know that about 20% of the time the market will do something other than what we expect. I talked about this earlier in the week. Most of your institutional traders, your deep pockets, they're taking a holiday, calculating their year-end bonus. So you have a lot of holiday warriors trading. And, well, when you look at the charts, you can see the difference. Okay? So we'll get through this week, we'll get through next week, and then we'll be back to business Pretty close to normal. First week of January. In fact, first week of January will probably be pretty busy. Now, the logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock. 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session, and vice versa. Now, long before we had Logic 247, we had the concierge trade alerts. They're a little bit different, and I'll show you how different they are. The CTAs, the concierge trade alerts, they don't come out around the clock. They come out, when possible, 5 minutes before the Globex open. So I think it was Tuesday night I was running late. No, Monday night. I didn't do anything, I guess, Tuesday night. Last night, I posted in the discussion group that the CTAs would be out at 5:55 because I had everything all set to go. This way it doesn't catch you by surprise. And if on days where I know I'm not going to be able to get them out 5 minutes before the open, I will also put a post in the discussion group that says they won't be out before the open. Now, historically, over the years, the CTAs were published shortly after the Globex open. So I started a test a couple weeks ago, and it's worked out real well. So I will continue to strive to get them to you before the open. Now, what that means is every one of our members and trial members had these targets 5 minutes before the market opened last night. S&P 500 E-mini, the Dow, the Russell, crude oil, NASDAQ, gold, silver, and bonds. Now there's some important information up at the top, so if you're a member or trial member, you should read this, make sure you understand it, and if you don't, tell me, ask me, so that I can clarify it for you, okay? But again, all these targets were published 5 minutes before the market opened last night. So let's go to the chart, see what things look like. Start with the daily chart, where we always do. Now, you can see that on December 24th, see, we've got a candle here. This green candle, the 24th. This candle is the 26th. And look at how far this thing moved. Remember, I told you price can move a great distance on light volume because there's no opposing force to stop it. And so we found resistance right in this area that we had highlighted. We hit the bottom side of that trend line, and then we opened last night and we tapped it right there, and then we dropped pretty significantly, and now we've rallied all the way back up to create a doji. So how we close today will be interesting. But if you've ever heard about the Santa Claus rally, there it is right there. 1, 2, 3 days. Actually, we got a 4th day because we put in a higher high today than yesterday. So 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Santa Claus rally. Now, could we rally into the end of the year? Anything's possible. You got to embrace all possibilities. If we were to close above the current high of the session, our next major resistance will be at the 62% fib extension. and then this high right here, and then this high right here, this high right here, and then the all-time historic high, which is 61.7875. The green line is called the BBC. It stands for Bull Bear Cross. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and expect higher prices. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and expect lower prices. Now, markets are fractal in nature. What this means is you can put the BBC on any market, on any time frame, and it's going to provide you with the same kind of information. Above the green line, expect higher prices. Below the green line, expect lower prices. Always relative to whatever time frame you're trading. You put it on a daily chart, a weekly chart, a monthly chart, 30-minute chart, a 5-minute chart, a tick chart, a range chart, it doesn't matter. It behaves the same and gives you the same information, but just remember, it's always relative to the time frame you're using it on. Don't expect daily results from a 1-minute chart, and don't expect 1-minute results from a daily chart. I mean, that just makes sense. Also, institutional traders, they look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way we look at the smaller time frames I just mentioned. So whatever you trade, whether it's futures or stocks or crypto or Forex or ETFs, it would serve you well to spend 2 minutes with the daily chart before you actually begin trading on your smaller time frames. You see, the institutional traders are the ones who actually move price under normal market conditions, which 2 holiday weeks back to back are not normal market conditions. But that doesn't mean price can't move a great distance on light volume. Okay? I mean, this day here where we had that big up move, the volume that day was only 582, a half a million. You know, on a typical day, we'll be somewhere between a million. If we go back here, this was Fed day. We had high volume, over 2 million there. This is a more typical day. That's still over 2 million. That's still over 2 million. And if we go back to the 23rd, we had 1.3. And then 582. And so far today, 488. Okay. But still, on a daily chart scale, the movement that we've seen is pretty good based upon the volume. Okay. All right. So the daily chart allows you to get a free look over the shoulder of the deep pockets that move price under normal conditions. Let's face it, if they're the ones who move price, all you have to do is whatever it is they're doing long enough to get your goal for the day, and then have the discipline to simply put the mouse away. That's where a lot of people struggle. I'm on a roll, okay? Just be careful, all right? It's a horrible thing to trade up a fat bankroll only to see it vanish, or worse, by the end of the session. We've always preached, get your goal for the day, put the mouse away. Okay? All right. All alerts, Logic 247 and the concierge alerts are created on a 30-minute chart. Nothing magic about 30 minutes, just the time frame I chose to work with years ago. And if it's not broke, leave it alone. These are the weekly trading zones for this week. The weekly zones are published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. We've published the zones for our members every week for the last 15 years. Yeah, I know, long time. last night, this is where we opened, okay, and we immediately dropped below blue and climbing, which is not a bullish thing to have happen. Now, the opening price, 60.99 and a quarter, took us up to 61.02 and a half. So had you bought that right, at the open, could have got your go for the day. But see, this sideways movement, blue and climbing turns to red and falling, that's your first indication. We're probably going lower. And when you have that much red and falling, chances are the pullback to the BBC isn't going to hold. Okay? We all know that the pullback to the BBC, whether it's from above or below, it holds more often than it doesn't, over and over again, until eventually it trades through. And it dropped where? Right to the weekly zone that was published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once the zones are published Monday morning, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. So when the market finds support, it's going to go look for resistance, which it found at the BBC. And that sent price right back down to the zone where it found support, which sent us back up to the BBC, above the BBC, and we haven't made it all the way to the long target. And you've got your step line starting to hook right, okay? When the black step line crosses blue and climbing, that's an indication that price is probably going to retrace back to the BBC. Now, if you look at the vertical line, the vertical cursor there, you can see that the black line has not crossed to the right side. It was on the left side as we made this climb. That's what I call the perfect stack. Now we've got the step line directly above blue and climbing. So in other words, it's trying to get to the right side, and as it does, price will typically come right back to the BBC. Over here, as we bounced off of the zone, see, when price drops to a zone, we expect support till proven otherwise. When price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance till proven otherwise. So as the step line crossed, red and falling, see, it was on the left side on the way down, but once it crossed, it's telling you to get ready for this. Price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green, and as I said, we call it the BBC, bull bear cross. On the Dow, this is where we opened last night, and this was the opening candle. Okay, we opened here. We opened at 6:45, and we ran up to 671. That's enough to get your goal for the day. But that 30-minute candle closed down, and then we go sideways. Right? See the step line crossing with price? And where does price go? Right back to the BBC. And with all that red and falling, it took us below the BBC. And we traded down to this area right here. Okay? You can see there was some congestion here. That brings you to that. Support takes you to resistance, back to support. We traded through the BBC. We had a lot of blue and climbing here. That powered us through, and we hit the long target at 43,740. This one candle right here opened at 644 and ran up to 725. So that's about 80 points or so. And that's just in this candle, not all the way to the target. And it only takes 20 points to get your goal for the day. But we tap that target. Now what's happening? Look at the stop line. It's doing the same thing as the ES. It's now directly above. If price consolidates sideways another 30-minute candle, we're going to cross from the left side to the right side. That's when you should expect your retracement back to the BVC. Now, does it have to do that? Is there a law? No. But it happens more often than not. Now, when you have a bearish cross, that's when the red line gets below the green line and it leads to an extended move. The first time price revisits that area will almost always be good resistance. See the bearish cross right there? We spiked it a little bit, but then price dropped. But on the next time up, we took it out, as is often the case. So I've already explained all of this. Now, there was a bearish cross right here. Okay. In this case, price struggled a little bit at that area, but it just kept going. Okay. So again, very few things in the world of trading are 100% all the time, but you should expect it because it's happening more often than not. Let's see, the last bullish cross. Oh, that would be here. So if price gets down into this area, you should expect support. If it takes out that one, then you got another bullish cross right here that has not been tested yet. So if price were to start dropping today, tomorrow, whenever, next week, until this is this area right here where it crossed 43,216 roughly, that will be a valid support area. If price doesn't come back for 5 years, when it does, you won't be able to see it on your chart. So you should maybe write it down now. All right, on the Russell. Here's where we opened. Opening price was 2278.2. And we ran up from 78.2 to 83.2. That's 5 points. It takes 2 points to get your goal for the day. And the step line crossed. Same old story. Same as the ES, same as the Dow. The indices typically behave the same. And we got that same drop right down to the weekly zone. Found support. Hit the target. Hit the zone, which is 2296/97. And that has been resistance now for the past hour and 14 minutes. Okay. But as you can see, as we're consolidating sideways, see how the step line is starting to hook to the right. Once it crosses to the right side of blue and climbing, look for a retracement. Okay. All right, NQ. Here's where we opened last night. We opened at 22, we'll call it 22,050, and ran up to 84.50. That's 30 points. At $20 a point, it's $600 per contract traded. The movement sideways, tried to move higher, but ran into blue and climbing. Now, blue and climbing is bullish until it gets directly above price. Then it becomes resistance, potential resistance, because it's on its way to becoming red and falling. And with that much red and falling, we traded right through the BBC. Now, we didn't hit the zone here. We got close. What was the low? 21,931.5. But buyers came in there before we touched the zone. Step line crossed, price pulled up to the BBC, and then it reached down to the zone. It missed it here. It's like an obsessive compulsive thing. It needed to touch it. Once it did, lift off. Now, we get a bearish cross right here. Okay? That's this high right here. The high of that candle is right at the bearish cross. Sent price back to the BBC, which we expect to be support till proven otherwise, because the pullback holds more often than not. Just like this pull up sent price all the way down to the zone. As you can see, the step line is in the process of crossing, blue and climbing. Now you don't have much distance to drop to the BBC. So we either touch the BBC and get a probably immediate type bounce. Keep in mind, this will be potential resistance, this will be potential resistance, and this up here will be potential resistance. If we trade through, and you got support here, and then probably the one I might like would be 21901 to 21881. That would be $400 per contract traded. Crude oil, this is where we opened above the BBC. A little sideways trade. This is the opening candle. We opened at 70.20, and in that first 30 minutes we ran up $170 per contract traded. Goal for the day is $100 per contract. We pulled back into the step line and found support. Red and falling turned to blue and climbing. That took us right up to the target. And this high just barely took out that high. Okay? That's bullish. Well, it only took it out by a little bit. You got to be suspicious of a little bit. Typically, price is going to back up and make another run at it. So we dropped to the BBC. The pullback held for hours. Once we got above red and climbing, or red and falling, this candle here opened at 70.28, and it took us up $120 to the target, but it kept going. Now notice, as we traded above that long target on the pullback, it held as support. Up we go again, another pullback. This time the BBC held as support. Then we just consolidated for hours at the weekly zone that was published Monday morning. And then came the drop. Red and falling took price through the BBC. We consolidated here at the zone, and we're trying to get to the short target. But if you look at the step line, what's it doing? It's starting to turn right. And if it crosses to the right side of red and falling, even if it doesn't physically touch it, if it's just you hold your cursor and the step line's on the right side of red and falling, expect a retracement to the BBC. Gold. This was the opening candle last night. We pulled back into the zone, and then we really took off. This candle right here opened up at 2637.4. It's $160 per contract traded. Now, we traded up and we ran into this resistance that was created 2 trading sessions ago. See that high? So you had all these wicks. So you know that's an important area of resistance because they tried and they tried and they tried and they tried and then they kind of gave up. Once price returned to that area, more of the same. But what I want you to notice is that this long target became support. Gave us a bounce. Again, it became support. And it sent us up to take out this high from way back on December 20th. But it's now failed. It's come back to the BVC. Question is, will it hold or not? If it holds, look for trading up here. Otherwise, wait for about 26.40 to take you down to 26.39. That'll give you a goal for the day. It's over, hit the long target in the zone, then it hit the short target, then it hit the long target in the zone. And then it pulled back, and it tried to get back to the short target. We got red and falling overhead, so we may pull up to the BVC, but more than likely we're going to hit that short target. Okay, all right, that's all the markets. Michael's here. He's going to give us a recap of everything that happened in the live training room this morning. Then we'll do some live trading on TradingView, and then I'll wrap things up with our good word for the day.
Yes, we are so close to the end of 2024.
We are very close.
All right.
Okay, looks good.
Here we are. All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 26th day of December, 2024. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you'd like to, then go here to mytradingiq.com and click on the purple button right here. There's no credit card required for the trial. When you click on that purple button, excuse me, when you click on the purple button, you're going to be sent to this page right here. On this page, all that we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. Down here at the bottom, if you have Ninja Trader, you can give us your machine ID if you want to use Ninja Charts. Or if you have TradingView, which we recommend you get, give us a TradingView login ID so we can enable the indicators for you. Get your indicators indicating at the beginning of your trial. All right. All right. So we had a nice active day again today. And we didn't do as well as we did on Monday, but we still did pretty well. And we missed a bunch of trades again, but we still did well. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. We made 162 ticks on the NQ. We lost 22 on the Russell. We lost 10 on gold, and we made 35 on the ES. That put us at 1,037.50 on the morning session. Today it took 5 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $1,620 with 12 contracts on. And we took a total of 46 trades this morning. 46 trades this morning. Most of them on the NQ. Probably half of them on the NQ, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27. Yes. All right, so on the month now, we're at $14,022, averaging $824 per contract per 2-hour business day. On the year, we're at $126,089, averaging $523 per contract per 2-hour business day. If you were to follow the 24/20 blueprint, so far this year, you would have only had to work 70.36 hours, and you would have averaged $3,332 per hour for those 70.36 hours. Okay. Yeah, so we're, if you were to follow the 24/20 blueprint so far this year, you would have made $234,000. Okay, that's starting with one contract, working your way up, and only working 70.36 hours. All right, so let's get into the trades that we did today. We'll start out with gold. I guess we'll just work our way across. All right, we'll start out with gold. We had a few trades here on gold. This is the number that the Don was showing earlier. It almost got up to it, but it didn't quite make it. Hang on, let me get rid of this stuff. Get rid of that guy. There we go. There. All right, so on the gold, we started out with this trade right here. We picked up 10 ticks on that one. Then we picked up 2 more on the second one to get us to 12. Then we stopped out there to get us to -3. And we stopped out there to get us to -18. And then we got to 8 ticks back right there to get us to -10. That was where we ended it for the morning session. Now, after we stopped out on this one right here, and I don't know how I managed to stop out on that. I guess we sold? No. See right here, we should have been selling the open of that bar. Oh, we didn't stop out on that one. We stopped out on this one. Okay, we got 8 ticks profit on that. I was going to say, what? How did we manage to stop out on that? All right, there was a trade here where we had the separation right here. We should have sold the open of that bar right there. Now that probably would have stopped you out again. And right here, should have bought the open of that bar. That would have gotten you break even. Sold the open of that bar, would have gotten you break even, and bought the open of that bar would have been, well, still be functioning right now. Okay, and that's what happened with gold today. Gold was not as cooperative. Neither was Russell for that matter. But I did screw up on the Russell once, and I didn't get all the good trades. We started out right here on the Russell. This, I believe, was a screw up. It was -25 ticks on that, but I should have my stop at break even. I think, right? We sold the open of this bar. So this should be pointing there. And did go 10 ticks into profit, but I didn't get it. Then over here, we sold the open of that bar, and we got 2 ticks back. We were at -23 at that point. And we sold the open of that bar, and we got 1 tick back. Got us to -22. Let's see, during the break, there was 1 trade right here during the break that should have been probably a break-even trade right there. And a long trade right here during the break, which that went, a full 10 or 15 ticks, maybe 20 ticks just about in favor. So should have gotten some profit on that, but not a bunch of trades there on the Russell today. Okay, on the ES, oddly, we had a lot of trades on the ES today. And we'll start at the beginning with those. Right here was our first trade on the ES. We picked up 6 ticks there. And then the second trade, we took a break even. Then we picked up, now we stopped out somewhere. Anyway, I show the stop out. I don't show that. We went from +6 to -2, and then went back to +6. So +6 to -2, back to +6, and then went to -4 on the next stop out. I think in here there was something missing in here, a stop out that's missing in here. We went from +6 down to -2, then we went break even, then we went to +6 on that, then we went to -4 on that, and then we went to +10 on that, I believe. And then from 10 we went to 16, then we went to 19, then we had a break even, then we went to 21, and then we went to 35, and those were all the trades. Okay, so we're +35 after this one right here. Let's see, during the break, looks like there was a short right here, right on this bar right here. That would have been a break even. You would have sold the open of this bar right here. Would have been a break even trade. You would have sold the open of this bar right here. That would have stopped you out. You would have bought the open of this bar right here. That would have been either a break even or a profitable trade. You would have sold the open of that bar right there. That would have been profit. Bought the open of this bar right here. That looks like it pulled back pretty good, but it still was profitable. Sold the open of this bar right here. That would have stopped you out. And you would have just sold the open of this bar right here. That would have been a break even just now. That's what happened on the ES. We ended up with +35 on the ES. Now the NQ is where we had the majority of our trades. As you can see, there were a bunch of them in here. We'll go back to the beginning. All the way back here. Our very first trade of the day was on the NQ. We picked up 12 ticks on the NQ right there. Right, 12 ticks there. Then we stopped out over here. That got us to -24. Then we picked up 16, got us to -8. Then we picked up 48, that got us to 40. Then 12 got us to 52. Then 20 got us to 72. Then we stopped out. We went from 72. There's a 48, I think, somewhere in here that we missed. We went from 72 up to 120, and then we stopped out, went down to 84. Then it went from 84 to 88. Then from 88 to 136, so that was a plus 48. Then from 136 to 142. Then we had a break even, went from 142 to 166, 166 to 182. Then a break even and a break even, then 182 up to 194. Then there's an extra one in here, and then we stopped out, went from 194 down to 158. So there's something I didn't account for there. Down to 158 when we stopped out. And then we went from 158 up to 162, then to 182, then to 202. Then we had a break even, then we went to 206. Then we stopped out. No, we went to 236, sorry, 236. Then we stopped out, went down to 190. Then we had a break even. Then we went back up to 202. And then we stopped out. We went down to 162. This doesn't look right. Yeah. Well, something like that. Yeah, 162. Yeah, that was right. Okay. Let's just do it here, just to make sure. 202 minus 36. 166 is what it should be. 166, because something didn't look right. Anyway, and that's where we ended the morning session. Now, during the break, there was a short trade right here that worked out. There was a short trade right here that worked out. A short trade right here that worked out. A long trade right here. It would have been the bar after, so it would have been right there. That still worked out. I know it went down. It drew back quite a bit, but it still worked out. There would have been a short trade. Oh, sorry, a long trade right here. That looks like it probably would have stopped you out. If you got, well, I don't know, if you got long right there, 9 points, 86.75, you would have been looking at 77.75. I guess it never got down there, so that would have been an okay trade. A short right here went down 20.36 before it went back up, so that would have been okay. And that was it on the NQ. We ended up with 166 actually on the NQ. Let me go fix that. Ended up with 166 on the NQ. So rounding up the morning, we're 166 on the NQ, minus 22 on the Russell, minus 10 on gold, plus 35 on the ES, 1,057.50 on the morning session. Took 5 minutes and 2 trades, hit to $1,620. Took a total of 46 trades this morning. On the month now, we're at $14,042, averaging $826 per contract per business day. And on the year, we're at $126,109, averaging $523 per contract per business day. Okay. So let's get back into it now. We have 2 blue lines leading the way down right here, right? This one and this one. So if we get down closes on either or both of those markets, we should have trades. Okay, that's what to look for. Now let me get out the question box and see if there are any questions. No questions in the question box. Okay, so we need down closes on either one of these bars, this one or this one. Should get us a trade set up. Okay, and that's what we're looking for. I just had an idea. Something I'll have to check out later. There it is on the NQ. So we've got a long right there on the NQ. Okay. And it's pulled back a little bit here so you can get a better entry right now. Get a little bit better entry on that. Here it is. And I'm in at 10.25. Now the spot to get in would have been right there at 11.50, so I'm a little better. But what do we anticipate? 2 leg lengths up at least. That is going to get it up, probably up to the prior swing high, but get it up into the overbought anyway. Okay. After 4 points in profit, up to 14.25 right there, I'll bump the stop to break even. Okay. That's what we're looking for right now. There it is. Stop going to break even. Now I'll lock in 4, and right at 10.25, I'm going to lock in 16 right there. Okay, the prior swing high is what it should get up to right here. $20, and we got all 48 on that. Perfect. All right. Everybody see that? Right there. Pretty easy trade to take, right? To see and take. Hang on. I just heard a big noise. Let me just look at the cameras inside the house and see what the heck just happened. Oh, okay. Okay. Didn't fall, just made a big mess, that's all. All right. So the ES actually has a short from right up here. All right, now it's already gone from 96.50 was a spot to short it. It's already dropped down to 95.25. So if you didn't get into it, you shouldn't get into it at this point. Now let me show you what it looks like here. Okay, you see how the blue led into the overbought right there? The NQ's actually got a short here too, because it led into the overbought right here. So the NQ short should have been from right here, and the S short should have been from right there. Okay, that's what you should have going on. And so here's the S short. All right, now I got into the S short late. I probably shouldn't have done that. And the NQ short, we should get 2 bar lengths going back down here on the NQ. Now I didn't get into the NQ short, but I did get into the S short. I missed the NQ one altogether. That has already gone, I think it's already gone 4 points into profit. But the S needs to go one more tick and above that stop. All right, from 96.50, it's already dropped down to 95.25. So I guess I can bump my stop now. It's already gone to where it should have gone to break even. There it is right there. Okay. It stopped to +2 on that. Now, if you get into the NQ, you should have some profit in the trade right now. You should have your stop at break even with some profit in the trade. Okay, end up with a +2 on that one. The NQ turned out to be a profitable trade too, if you get into it. Gold over here is leading right now. The blue is leading the way down. So if you get a down close here on gold, it'll probably be an opportunity to go long. Okay, probably. All right. All right, so we don't have anything here. Does anybody have any questions about anything at this point? Anybody? All right, no questions. It's all good. It's 1:10. We got about 20 minutes left in here, guys, for more trades. All right, we have a long trade right here on the ES, guys. The blue led into the oversold. We have a long trade here on the NQ also. The blue led into the oversold there too, right here. So the long trade on this should be from right here, and the long trade on this should be from right here. Right now, the ES 95.25 was the entry, and it's gone up to 96 so far, so it's still okay to get into that. The NQ 1950 was the entry, and it has not gone 4 points into profit. So they're both still okay to get into on the long side if you want to. Okay, both of these trades right now. The gold's even got a long trade here. Now, it's odd that they're all going in the same direction. Gold, the ES, and the NQ. Right? Now, it's not odd or concerning in any way that it did go down from the opening point on any of these trades, really. It's normal for it to go against the direction of the trade in the beginning. Okay, remember these are counter trend trades. There's momentum going in the opposite direction at the time of the entry, usually. Okay. So we have all three trades going right now. They're all longs. And we'll see how they pan out. None of them got to the point where the stop should go to break even yet. Okay. The ES and the gold have come pretty close to getting the stop to break even, but the NQ is not. I guess the NQ has two. I didn't even notice that. The NQ has two. Yeah, the NQ is pretty close to stopping out right here. There it goes. I have a horrible entry on the NQ. 1775. Yeah, I'm way off on I'm off by 8 points on the NQ. Right. Well, I really screwed up on the NQ one. I probably should have had my stop at break even on there. Am I off? Yeah, I am off. It's right here. 1275. I'm not off by that much, am I? Yeah, I'm off. I'm way off. Okay, so I stopped out on the NQ, but that was my fault. I had a horrible entry on that one. On the ES, I think I have a good entry on that. The entry should have been right here at 95.25 mid. I'm off by 2 ticks on the ES. So the ES is good. The NQ I stopped out on, but that was my fault. I had a horrible entry on that. I don't know what happened with that one. Over here on the gold right now, we need that to bump up 5 ticks to get the stop to break even. And the ES, we need to go 4 ticks to get the stop to break even. Okay, the NQ is recovering now that it stopped me out. I believe the NQ is going to give us a short trade here in a minute. The gold's almost got the stop to break even here. 1 more tick on the gold. I think it's, yeah, we can go break even on the gold. The ES now, if I had the right entry on this, we would have been okay on the NQ. I totally screwed that one up. I don't know what I did wrong on that. The gold, we'll look for, I would look for it to get up to there. 51.4 is what the number was at just a minute ago. Okay, we're out of break even on the gold, and we're still in the ES, and we stopped out on the NQ. Now the NQ, if we get an up close on the NQ, we could have a short in here. We get an up close on the NQ right there. Okay. All right, the ES is starting to come to life. So hopefully we'll see the ES get up to the prior swing high here. We're going to have a short trade on the ES. They're up here at 96.50, 97.50. If we get an up close on ES, it gets us up to the point where we'll be able to bump our stop to break even. It would actually be a reversal signal from right there. The way it's coming together anyway. And there it is, stop to break even on the ES. We need the up close to get us into the oversold right there, to get us into the overbought. And that would give us a shorting opportunity. Interesting. So the low of this bar is right here at 94.50. The high is going to be up at 96.25. So it's got to get up here to close the bar out and to give us a shorting opportunity. I think. Did I do the math right? There it is. That's what I was talking about. All right, so I'm going to lock in a lot of profit on this because now we actually have a shorting opportunity here on the ES. Okay, so now we can short right there. So I just took 6 ticks profit on the long side, and now it's got a short right here at 97. It's not a great entry for the short. 97 was the spot I should have shorted right there. Gold is starting to move up a little bit better now. The NQ is in a shorting position right now too. Okay, so we took 6 ticks profit on the long here on the ES, and now it's in position for a short right here from 97, right there. Okay, and my stop should be 10 ticks away. It is. And the NQ's also got a short going over there too. NQ's in a short position right here. Okay, the ES just stopped us out. So we got a win and a stop out there on the ES on the reversal. The NQ here. The NQ stopped going to break even. I just shorted it while I was up here. It stops going to break even on the NQ. And I'm out with a break even on the NQ. So there's a lot of trading to be done here, as you can see. All right, so Dwayne, in the picture that you sent, are you showing me what yours looks like compared to mine? And yours is on the NQH31 range. Mm. Have you, it shouldn't make a difference, but remove the trigger and put it back on, the range trigger. Try that. It shouldn't make a difference, but it's a possibility if you have a different version. But the math that puts the things into place wasn't different. Okay. Interesting. Okay. The gold's actually got a short over here right now, guys. This leading up into the overbought is a short there on gold. And the ES looks like it's going to give us a long here in a minute. If we get a down close on this bar, give us a long. Okay, where that is. And the NQ's got nothing for us right now. Okay, but the S has just about got a long for us right now. Just about. You know what? It could also be your scaling, maybe. Let's just see what it looks like if you take them off and put them back on. It looks like your slingshot is a lot different than mine. Everything looks different than mine, now that I think about it. But here it is on the ES. Sorry, I wasn't looking. The long was from right here at 98 and a quarter. 98 and a quarter on the ES. Okay, the gold stopped going to break even on that. And possible long trade setting up over here on the NQ. We ended up with the break even over there on the gold. Cancel. Good. It must have been scaling, I think, D. Probably something like that. Sync. I don't know about that. That is a strange thing. Is it 123? 123. Let's see. Yep. And the price is in the same thing, and the bars is doing the same thing. Well, that might do it. Oh, okay. You mean this, or like that? Okay, well that shouldn't matter. I mean, if you go out to the, if you use that layout that I just stuck there in the Telegram, save your layout and try to open that one up. And it should be a read-only copy of mine that you should be able to use. I missed the NQ. The NQ had a trade right here. I guess the ES had a trade right here too. And the gold, I got to break even on the gold. Yeah, because I just saved mine and stuck it out there, so you should be able to use the same exact thing as me right now. And today is the 26th, right? 27th tomorrow, 28th on Saturday. Okay, I got it. Got it. All right, we got some separation here on the NQ. A down close on this bar is possibly going to give us a long trade right now. Okay. Nothing else happening right now. It does seem like if we don't get a trade like every minute, something's wrong. It's getting spoiled or worn out, one or the other, or both. But we're waiting now. We're waiting for a down close over here on the AQ. That should give it to us. That is correct. Yes. You're looking for this kind of separation right here, Hal. This too. This works too. You just don't want them to be together. And like over here, when the blue got up into the overbought by itself, that was when I went short, and I ended up taking a break even on that. And right here, when the blue went into the overbought by itself right there, that was a short right there at the open of that bar. All right. Now, right now, if we get a down close here on the NQ, probably the blue will get by itself down here into the oversold. Same thing here on the ES, probably. I'm not sure if either one of those are really going to happen that way, but that's probably going to be the case. Okay. And that's what we're looking for. We only have a couple minutes left in here, but that's what we're looking for right now. Okay. And well, good. Yeah, it might have been the way we were dealing with the that might have been the way we were dealing with the scaling. All right, so we got an up close over here instead of a down close, so that's not going to be a trade. And the ES is the only one that's got a chance to give us a trade right now. But we're going to wrap up here in about 25 seconds, so we're probably not going to get another trade today. We'll probably get another 40 or 50 of them tomorrow, though. There's some active trading in the morning session right now. All right, well, we got the down close on the S, but it didn't do what we thought it was going to do. It moved the slingshot down and not the trigger. So that is going to be it, guys. All right, so with that, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button right here. There is no credit card required for the trial. When you click on that, you're going to be brought to this page. We'll have a new one of these up tomorrow, or tonight, or tomorrow for next week's stuff. We got to figure out what next week's stuff is because I'm not sure what the holidays like next week. But we'll have a new one of these up with all of next week's information for you guys tomorrow. But go out here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button, no credit card required. Just fill out this form and you get all the information you need to get into the room in the morning, every business day for 5 days. All right, D, with that, I can pass it back out to you in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park, if you are ready. Easy. There we go. All right. Let's head over there. Today it took 5 minutes and 2 trades to get to $1,620. Thank you.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.